what's up to Miss Kelly Osbourne.
Thank you so much for having me back. The first thing I did when I got off the show yesterday was call my mom. I was like, Mom, you've no idea what it's like to work with women who are so beautiful and want every other woman to be beautiful. The audience is so much fun and the crew is so much fun. I hadn't had an experience like that. And I was like, you guys have a dream job. It's awesome.
We do feel super blessed, but I also feel really blessed because you came out in a really bright pink dress today and it looks fire.
Thank you.
I'm here for it. Come through, party girl. Actually, I love both of your guys' looks. Yes. This is
I was
slayage
really
right
jealous
here.
of this when you came out today. I was like,
Really? I have no idea what it is.
Just taking chances, being edgy.
Yes.
I love it.
Well, on that, we're going to get ready for some girl chat. You
Yes.
ready for girl chat?
I'm so ready.
Let's get it going.
Speaking of chattering, you know, you were just on a tour chattering with your fans about your new book, There Is No Secret, Letters from a Badass Bitch. And I heard that you got a little surprise on...
I did. So I never ask my parents to come to anything that I'm doing because it's a whole ordeal between my mom's assistant, my dad's assistant, hair and makeup, a car, security, them organizing them, everyone getting in and out so it doesn't cause mayhem. And so I never want to, if they've got time and it was a weekend that they can spend together because they're totally in love again and it's driving me nuts.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I didn't want to, you know, take that away from them, so I didn't mention it, and they surprised me, and I got the biggest fluffy lip and just burst into tears because I was so happy. My dad made two people get out of the front row so that him and my mom could sit. And keep in mind, my mom just had back surgery, spine surgery. So the fact that she came and they both did, and they were both sat there, I was like trying not to cry through the entire talk. Before the signing, and I was just so touched by it.
That is beautiful. I love that. No, really.
I'm like, my parents are my #1 cheerleaders, and I'm just as excited as like a 12-year-old at a soccer game that their parents came. Like that's how excited I get when they come to visit me.
I never think of it that way. That literally is how kids feel when their parents show up to a baseball game or a soccer game.
Do you remember, like, when those moments would happen, like, say, a baseball game, when you do the swing, you kind of look just to see if your parents look? Like, everything you say, you look. Did you catch that? Did you see me? Did you see that dribble? Like, it's everything.
School plays, all of that, yeah.
Oh, I ruined every school play I was ever in.
Why?
Why?
I sat there yawning until it was my turn, and then I would rock out and then sit back down and yawn to the point where the parents would face their cameras watching me because they thought I was so funny. It was like the worst thing ever.
Oh, my God.
That's because you were bored of the basics, and now you got your own show here with us.
There we go. Well, up next, comedian Chris Rock, who's on the cover of the latest issue of Rolling Stone. Now, the cover story discusses the end of Rock's marriage to his ex-wife last August and reveals that Rock said in a stand-up routine that he had cheated on his wife multiple times during their marriage. Now, Chris seems to take responsibility for his cheating, saying, quote, "I was a piece of blank." And when asked if he would ever get married again, Rock said, quote, "Not if it would cure AIDS." I'll take that as a no.
Yes.
Do you ladies find that Chris's honesty is refreshing? And do you think that it could hurt him when it comes to his future relationships? Like, just putting it all out there, saying he wasn't honest. Kelly, what are the feels?
Okay, I come from a family that is filled with honesty and filled with mistakes. We make a lot of mistakes. And the thing that our family has never done is turn those mistakes into jokes about our own family. And the thing is, I don't think he's thinking about the repercussions of his children by making jokes about his wife. That's the mother of his kids. He is a talented comedian. He can come up with anything. But when you start going after the mother of your children, yes, he was honest. Yes, he admitted it. But that's just half the battle. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you have to remember, like, those kids are going to go to school and be made fun of because of something he said in a stand-up show. And I don't think that's fair.
Interesting. I could see that, too. At the same time, I find it refreshing because I relate to what he's saying. And I say this because I'm 10 years married with my man, Freddie, and those 10 years, it's hard. For those of you who are married, how hard is marriage, right?
Because love is work, it's not a fairy tale.
Absolutely, and that's why we're still living our fairy tale. But if I can be real, I would be the same. I would think I don't want to do marriage again. And I would be really real about that. Guess what? It's going to freshen me that I know myself better, and it's going to allow me to just own a truth so that I don't live in a shame that I failed. You got to just put it out there. And he may change. It may not be forever, but I think he's going to have refreshing relationships as he puts that out there, so we ain't playing games with other women.
Yeah.
Make sense?
When me and my husband were just friends, he would always say, I would never get married again.
Oh.
Like when we were just, he literally said, I would never ever get married again. And I was like, oh, you never know, you know? Because you never know
my
what
dad
happens.
says
And
yes.
you should always leave the door open for God to bless you. You never know what's going to happen. But back to what you were saying, Kelly. I feel like, yes, the honesty is refreshing. I think it's refreshing in real life. I think that's refreshing to take responsibility for what you've done in the privacy of your family, to actually come forward to her and say, I'm sorry for what I did. I was a piece of blank to her. Tell your children, I was a piece of blank as a husband. Maybe I'm a great father, but I was a piece of blank as a husband, and I hope that you guys can do better than I did. I think owning your truth is always the best thing to do. But is it the best thing to do in a comedy stand-up?
Joan had two rules when it came to that kind of stuff. When working with her, you never make a joke that is going to affect someone's children, and you never make a joke about the plus one on the carpet because they don't want to be in the public eye. And as far as I know, Chris Rock's wife doesn't want to be in the public eye.
Yeah, I never saw her in the public eye like that. So
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think it's refreshing. I think it's kind of cruel.
Because as a comedian, I want to know what what do you think?
Yeah, as a comic, I know what he's doing. He's calling his tour the alimony tour, so that he can pay for it. That's been reported. That's what he calls it.
Lonnie, I have a question for you. Do you think he truly means what he's saying, or is he using it as material for his comedy tour?
I think he's using it as material because a lot of comics have been doing that. I mean, Kevin Hart talked about his divorce. There's a new show coming on BET called something about I'm glad I got divorced or something like that. You know, and then there are the allegations that's coming about the cheating. That's mounting on top, and it's becoming hurtful.
Don't you think, sorry for interrupting, but don't you think, yes, he's admitted this and all this, but calling yourself an arse doesn't make you any better until you're doing something about it?
Okay, that's my point. There's a difference between transparency that's apologetic. There's a difference between being like, I was an ass and I'm so sorry for it, and if maybe there's a way that I can help that my son not go through the same experience or not be that same kind of like, there has to be a good way to make right of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well,
versus just laughing at it. And yes, I do agree, like Kevin Hart, laugh at my pain. Okay, I get all of that. And if I'm going to be honest, we don't know what his relationship is with his estranged wife. Because let's say, Jeannie, you can take a really good joke.
Yeah.
If she's sitting there like, baby, bring home that money, laugh at it, I'm good, I'm healed.
Yes.
We don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hey, I get that.
How
but-
many kids? Some people can
That's
take
why
a
I brought
joke.
up the kids, because the kids feel different about that kind of stuff.
Well, I
and take
just
it all
want to see
differently.
the comedy act. I mean, until I see it, then I could maybe think a little
Good
bit
point.
more about it. But
Did you take a joke?
I want to say right now that divorce, it's run in my family. Like, it is really hard and it's awkward and people feel like failures. I love that laughter is the best medicine. That's why I hang out with Lonnie so much, because she just makes me laugh at things.
Yeah.
It really is, truly.
Sometimes you do have to laugh at things. We've been through some hard things, and we laugh at it.
Yes, and to this day, Freddie and I, this is why I'm so real about my marriage on this show, you guys. I have to be the one to laugh at it, because guess what? We together are trying to work on it, and I'm a piece of work, yo! So I gotta make sure that I know this, he knows this, and we laugh.
Yeah. So, do you get that? I like it. But
Sam,
being married, would you think, and you have children.
You have a great sense of humor about marriage, dude.
I do.
Yeah. but where the kids are involved, if this was being put out there, how would that make you feel?
Well, I agree with what you're saying. I don't know how his wife feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the coolest thing about comedy, the only thing is just it could be a double-edged sword in the sense that laughter, yes, at a comedy show, you do want to talk about your real life experiences, but at the same time, you want to make sure no one's getting hurt by you talking about your experience. So if it were me, I would make sure my husband is laughing about it as well before I would do something like that.
Yes,
You see what I'm saying?
Make sure we're all good.
Yes.
Maybe I would do the act in front of them and be like, you feel
she's
good.
laughing though.
Yeah.
I don't think right now.
That's my gut. But anyways, well, one couple who's doing quite well in their relationship is Prince Harry and his girlfriend Meghan Markle.
I'm here for this relationship.
And I love them so much.
Me too.
They're so cute. They had their first public outing as a couple over the weekend. Meghan watched her boo thang play polo for his charities, fiercely cheering him on from the sideline. Kelly, my question is for you. As someone from across the pond, I'm going to ask you first. Do you think this was the right moment for the couple to go public?
I do. I think that it's going to be a slow transition because when you have been picked by a member of the royal family to be their partner in life, you have to go through training. And if you know,
Listen up, Lonnie.
etiquette training. I would. There's one etiquette training I would never pass. You could only put enough food on the fork that you can swallow it and chew 3 bites.
Oh, hell no.
I'm like,
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm like just.
That's how
trying
your
to-
royal family does.
Do you
They're
think
all
Meghan
about-
has gone through training?
If you look, she's been completely pulled out of the public eye and only at
website
certain
went down.
things like when she's grocery shopping or when she's doing, as they would say in magazines.
So you
they
mean
do
he
it
might
too.
marry a black woman?
Yes, which is fabulous.
That was
And
my
I'm
question.
so excited
Do you
because
think-
yes,
Do you
we
think
need
the
it.
royal family
Yes.
is going to be open to this?
Yes, I do.
You think they're open?
Let me tell you why. Because he's the spare. He's the spare.
What's
so
that mean?
when you're the king and queen and you have a baby, your first baby is next in line to the throne.
Right.
So you have another child as a spare in case anything happens. That's what they call it. It's almost a curse.
So
but
it's
if I was in the
Charles-
royal family, I would want to be the spare because you get to have as much fun as you want.
Yes.
and you don't have to follow the rules.
And you get to date black women. Okay.
No, you can date whoever you want, really, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think it's so important to show how this world is changing and that something that was so antiquated and had so many rules is now.
But think about it, Kelly. If they have a baby,
It's going to be gorgeous.
but it might go back into them deep roots. It might come
It'd be
out looking like
amazing.
me, and then I
Yes.
really would be
It'd be
impressed.
amazing.
That would be amazing.
It would be amazing.
It would be amazing. And then at some point, we don't even have to have conversations like this anymore. That make it so awesome that, oh my gosh, someone's dating a black person. And it would be just the norm. Like, I'm
But
not
she's
gonna lie though.
biracial.
You're absolutely right about
black,
that.
Lonnie. Come on.
No, but you're absolutely right about the etiquette lessons because I'll be real, like, if I was dating a prince, I wouldn't be waiting this long to go show his off. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there was all
Like,
the
I would
secret innuendos in the beginning, like wearing his bracelet while she's having a cup of tea on Instagram. And
I would be about it.
little things
I would
like
be
that.
at Costco having him wait in line with me. I would be at Cold Stone ordering ice creams together.
I would be like,
at
can we
the
make sure this
stoplight.
is going to work out first?
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
See, you got a prince as a beau? Girl, you got to put him out as your OOTD.
But you have to follow the rules.
Yeah,
You have to follow the rules.
I don't think, he has to follow the rules.
Like,
I'm not very good at that.
Has she met the queen yet? You think?
I think so. I think yes. To get to this point, you have to.
Just
have
because
gone
she's from
through-
England don't mean she knows all
I
the
do know. I do know.
But I know
She
to get to this,
knows.
I mean, this is her
I was at
closest ear to him.
Princess Eugenie's 18th birthday at Windsor Castle thinking, what the hell am I doing here? I do not fit in. I don't know manners properly. And then I was sat next to like a count and a lord
You've
of
been in the
somewhere.
castle?
Uh-huh. I spent a week in Buckingham Palace.
You
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. That's so cool. I went for the
Okay, maybe
Queen's
you should ask
birthday.
her all the questions.
For the Queen's birthday, we did a play of all her favorite childhood books. And I got to play Wendy, Moira Angela Darling in Peter Pan. And it was really awesome. So we rehearsed all week long. So I would take a book with me because my bit was like all of 10 seconds. But you had to stay on the grounds the whole time. And because I knew some of the people who worked there, I got to walk around the gardens and I watched her walk her corgis at 5 o'clock every day. And it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life.
That's
I
my
felt
friend,
like
you
a real
guys.
princess.
That's my friend. My friend Kelly.
My mom being like,
super
I can't believe it.
This is
Was
so
she
good.
nice?
She's so. They're all so nice, and can I tell you what Prince Harry said to me the first
What?
time?
What?
He met
What
me?
did he say? What did he smell like?
Gorgeous. But he said to me, "Do your dogs really all over your house?" I'm like, that's the first thing he's gonna say to me in my life.
See, they're regular people, folks. Too much goodness. They're regular